Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hartford Whalers expansion franchise here on NHL 24. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, as our Whalers searching for the gift of victory in this episode. We are now third in the Metro Division, coming in winning 8 of our last 10 games, as are the Flyers in the closely contested Metropolitan Division. We are now 7-2 in Metro play, the top among our opponents, as we are 0-1 though against the Flyers this season, as now they are in the offensive zone. McCann back to Grons to connecting to Noah Hanifin. A shot there, blockered away by Yaroslav Askarov. Now Konttinen, the 20-year-old phenom in front. A chance off the post on the tough angle. Now for McCann. He has been a stud since a draft day trade brought him to the Flyers a few years back. Now Zadina hit off the puck, on that one, as now Konechny back the other way. Hit against Wars, but Hanifin a chance in front, poked away by Montour. Now Zadina leading the charge the other way. Zadina now into the zone for Hartford. Zadina in the corner, towards the front of the net, in the slot for Montour, shot! And that's blocked away by Carter Hart. Second in the NHL in wins so far this season. Montour in the slot there for Leo Carlson, as he whiffed, and Hanifin now back the other way for Philadelphia, as he loses possession in the neutral zone, although Morgan Frost is able to take it up. And now Frost behind the net for Joel Farabee. Farabee now in front for Frost. Poked away by Yaroslav Askarov off the second chance. Both goalies being tested here on a couple chances early on, as now Gabriel Landeskog searching his options, gets it over for Montour. Now up for Mangiapane, the captain, second on the team in goals, as he leads this rush in front for Ivan Provorov, former Flyer, saved by Hart. Now Rozovic in the corner, working towards the net, a shot, and he scores! Jack Rozovic, his 10th goal on the season, was phenomenal in that last episode. I think 4 goals, 5 goals in his last 10 games or so, and he's staying hot. We even put him on the thumbnail in the last episode, and we might have to do it again at this rate, as he finds the back of the net early on here on Christmas Eve from Hartford, Connecticut, as he beats Carter Hart and puts the Whalers up 1-0 in this ever-important division matchup, as we have been playing phenomenal hockey to start this season. I want to say our record is 22-10-1 or something of that nature, as Rozovic now is 23rd point, and we've had such even distribution of points among all our lines. And now Andrew Kopp back there for Provorov. Denisenko now to Kopp as he tries to get into the zone, knocked off the puck, as Gwinnett up the boards for Sean Couturier. Now for Bobby Brink, as he loses possession into the corner, picked up by Andrew Peak. Peak now up for Brock Besser, as he'll take it into the zone with speed. Besser a shot. Pad save frozen by Carter Hart. Stay tuned after this game. We will sim ahead a few more as we reach the official halfway point of this Year 5 season. Our Whalers trying to get back to the playoffs for the first time since Year 2, as that was our lone appearance so far. Gwinnett hit off the puck. Now Tom Wilson picks it up, and Jacob Vrana intercepts that as we try to get it back to the point. And now into the zone for Philadelphia. Couturier in front for Vrana, a shot, and that was blocked. And now Tom Wilson knocked to the ice. You don't see that much, as Couturier wins that battle. Now Gwinnett from the point, as that shot goes wide. Now Cole Sillinger with it to Tom Wilson. Wilson clears that, or dumps that into the zone. Denis Gurianov holding Gwinnett up against the boards. Philadelphia down Cam York, one of their top defensemen in this game. And now Gwinnett knocked to the ice by Tom Wilson, getting some revenge, as things are heating up now in Hartford. Nick Paul to Kulik. Kulik leading the charge, spins back, gets some space now in front, and that's going to be knocked out of the zone. Heads up defensive play, as that's all the way back into Philadelphia territory. Harris over to Paul, as they cannot get anything going. Dermott now hit to the ice, as Tom Wilson, a good resurgence on this shift, and then a shot there knocked away by Askarov. As Cole Sillinger now with it, spins away from a couple defenders, and now Gurianov into the zone. Gurianov, the corner now. Back for Andrew Peak in front for Daniil Chaika, hit off the puck. Now Gurianov, a backhand chance saved by Carter Hart. Fighting through a defender there. Now Rozovic in front trying to get number 2. Forehand there was knocked away by Carter Hart, as Dermott now into the zone for the Flyers. Trying to get something going. Backhand chance here now for Harris in front, knocked away by Rozovic. Gabriel Landeskog gets that off for Rozovic, as we are able to get it out of the zone, but Harris picks it up for the Flyers in the neutral zone, as Dermott feeds Mantha. Mantha centering pass picked off by Rozovic, as he gets that for Mangiapane. A rush the other way now for the Whalers. Mangiapane in front, picked off by Mantha. He's hit off the puck, and now in front for Rozovic. A chance again right in front, saved by Carter Hart. Now Mangiapane retrieves again as Hartford now some offensive zone pressure here. Landeskog in front for Rozovic. Another great chance off the stick from Rozovic. And now Landeskog a one-timer. Carter Hart does play that out. And now Harris going up ice past the logo for Morgan Frost. And now over for Joel Farabee as he does regain possession. And Yaroslav Askarov gloves that one. Some great action early on this Christmas Eve matchup between the Whalers and Flyers. As now Jyrki Konttinen, number 94 for Philadelphia, back out there. 40 goals last season as a 19-year-old joining that exclusive club. Now Kopp does win that defensive zone faceoff as Mäki will get that over for Besser, although Besser did not even realize it was coming for him as Konechny gives to McCann. Now up back from Konechny to Konttinen. He's set off the puck as Montour will give it for Besser. He saw that one coming as Kopp working towards the net. 2-on-1 for Hartford, although recovery there from Philadelphia. Besser, a shot gloved by Hart. Another quality chance for our Whalers. And we see there Jyrki Konttinen against Sami Mäki, the first two number 1 picks in this franchise. Mäki in 2024, Jyrki Konttinen the following year in 2025. Talking about Christmas gifts, as each of these teams won the lottery in those seasons. And now Hanifin into the zone back for Konttinen, working towards the net there against Mäki, as Besser will take it. 2 Finns selected back-to-back number 1. Besser now for Grigory Denisenko as he scores off the one-timer. It took me a second to realize who it was. Denisenko, his 7th goal, puts Hartford up 2-0. A great feed there from Besser as that goes short side, blocker side against Hart, as he was covering the left side of the net too much. Left that side open as Denisenko fired a rip, and he's been very productive since being moved up to the 3rd line. We've put Tom Wilson on the 4th line for the past few games just to get more of a physical presence down there, and Denisenko, his offensive prowess has been felt since being moved up to the 3rd line. Now 2-0 here, Hartford. Brock Besser, the lone man on the assist, as Mark Scheifele on the top line back out there. Scheifele, a good feed from Carlson towards the net as he does turn that one over to Gwinnett. Good action here from the XL Center as Philadelphia trying to get one back. Bobby Brink knocked off the puck there by Sami Mäki. Good feed across ice for Mark Scheifele. Back for Montour. And still spin away from a man. Montour now evades a couple defenders. Working a rush here for Hartford to Zadina. Zadina having a career year as he works towards the net. Turns it over now for Sanheim. As now Travis Sanheim will give that to Sean Couturier. Couturier working towards the net, and that one just wide out of the field of play here. Ice of play, I guess we'll say, as Askarov remains flawless so far. Good one that time, showing some good flexibility to work the pad to that side of the net, covering that up, as still 2-0 here, Hartford. Askarov, of course, missed about a month. He just returned here recently and has been playing at a very high level, really blossoming as one of the top young goaltenders in the NHL. As Zadina spins away from a couple guys across ice now for Provorov, playing against the team that drafted him. As now Scheifele over for Carlson, over for Zadina as a rush develops. And good defense there by Gwinnett, as Zadina is still trying to get it. And now that will be picked up by Leo Carlson in front for Zadina. Good chance there, denied by Carter Hart. Back to the point as we do keep possession. Mark Scheifele for Peak, and he can't get a shot off. Now Mangiapane comes off the bench, picks it up for Provorov to Scheifele. A few seconds remaining here as we do get the pass there for Scheifele into the zone, but Gwinnett to Vrana will end that rush. So 2-0 here from Hartford, Connecticut. Our Whalers trying to keep this hot streak alive. If you saw last episode, we're going from good to elite, or at least trying to, as we've been climbing up the Metro standings this season and supplanting a bunch of teams in the process, as the Flyers are another team we're trying to overcome as we climb the Metro, the very tough Metro division. Missed last season, I think, the playoffs by like 5 points, only 7 or 9 points the year prior, as we are just on the doorstep. But Philadelphia now on the doorstep, as that one is turned over. Now Leo Carlson back the other way. Breakaway for Leo Carlson as he shoots saved by Carter Hart. And that one is frozen. Offensive zone draw to come. Scheifele here against Jared McCann. As that advantage, Scheifele back to the point for Mäki as he turns that over to Konttinen. The number 1 pick's going at it here as Konttinen gets it for connecting a shot, and he scores! Great feed there by Jyrki Konttinen, able to work it past the neutral zone into the zone for Philadelphia, and the feed there to Konechny finds the back of the net as they split the difference. And a quick goal here in the second period by Philadelphia. Good pass there by Konttinen. As we said, he's really been heating up here, the 20-year-old phenom, as he was able to evade the hit coming there by Mäki, and Montour just kind of caught on his heels there as he provided some space there for Konechny. So now 34 points ties McCann for the team lead here for the Flyers. As now Scheifele and McCann back out on the draw. Just over a minute into this second period, McCann wins it again. Hannafin to Grans, as that's picked off by Hartford, although Konechny does win it back. Now against the boards, kicks it back the other way. Giving chase there is McCann, as he does now have it. Over for Grans. Grans now for Konttinen. Konttinen finds some space now into the zone as he leads this rush. And he's hit off the puck. Zadina back the other way. He is tripped, as that is going to bring up the first power play of the game. No penalties there in the first period. Very early on, Jared McCann will head to the box. The Whalers now on the power play, which is one of the best so far in the Metro Division, which has been a huge step up from what we've been dealing with in previous years. Now Andrew Kopp on the draw, tied up against Morgan Frost. Back for Morgan Frost, will take it the other way, as he pickpocketed a man there, and a shot saved by Askarov. And now over for Montour to Guryanov, who turned it over there. Guryanov, one of our leading pointsmen on the power play this year, working there from the point primarily. And again, we'll turn it over as Kulik for Philadelphia. Kulik on the shorthanded rush. A shot, and he scores! 5-hole there on Askarov, ties it up. And the power play does not amount in a goal for us. It amounts in a goal for Philadelphia, as we did not need that. 2 early goals here for the Flyers to rewrite that 2-goal deficit they faced. And just like that, we have a brand new game here from Hartford. It seemed to be in our control, but no longer, as it's a new one here. Although we are still on the power play, but Denis Guryanov, 2 turnovers there. And we need to be a little bit better, as he is still out on the ice. We still have our second unit with 1:15 remaining. Just over 3 minutes here in the second period. Already 2 goals for the Flyers, as they win it on the draw. Konechny along the boards. As we will have a rush now the other way. Brock Besser trying to centering pass, as he does still have it. Brock Besser! A tough angle, as Carter Hart will secure that one. Now 50 seconds remaining, 6-6 face-offs, as now 7-6 advantage Hartford. Montour from the point takes the shot and he hits his own man, or maybe that was one of the defenders from Philly, as that bounced all the way back into the neutral zone. Guryanov again, just a pass there into no man's land, picked up by Hannafin, who gets to clear up the boards, and the offside will stop it. Now we do have that top power play unit with Scheifele, Zadina, Landeskog, Tom Wilson, and Leo Carlson, all forwards this time. As Tom Wilson into the zone. Working out the boards now for Carlson. A shot blocked in congestion. Landeskog now trying to work for the rebound there against Hannafin. As Hannafin gets it off for Sanheim, now to Konechny. Travis Konechny over for Couturier. A charge now for Philadelphia as he's it off now. McCann out of the box towards the net. A save by Askarov. Again, Scheifele and McCann on the draw. Scheifele pushes him off the puck. Zadina now for Mäki up for Carlson. Pass center ice now into the zone. Carlson trying to work in, but Gwinnett takes that one over now for Konttinen. Jyrki Konttinen leading the charge for Philly. And now into the zone. Konttinen towards the net, beats Mäki, gets the shot off, and that's gloved by Askarov. And it is Mark Scheifele bobblehead night, so hopefully you're in attendance to get your Mark Scheifele bobblehead. Maybe the last one we have here, as he is set to hit free agency. Signed him on a 1-year contract extension this past offseason, now in his 4th season in Hartford. Our big signing back in that year 1 offseason, along with Tom Wilson, as now Zadina taken over by Gwinnett, who's had a very solid game there on the back end for Philly in the absence of K. Dork and also Cody Ceci. So they're down 2 of their defensemen in this one. Frost is turned over there as he tried to work that towards the net. Now Leo Carlson. Carlson into the zone, does have some space. Carlson towards the net. A feed for Zadina was taken away by Gwinnett. Now along the boards in the corner as Frost does win that puck. Now for Farabee, someone we might target in free agency this upcoming offseason, Joel Farabee. And now Montour pass there for Carlson, and so work it back now over for Roslovic. Now for Mäki, as he loses the handle for Dermott in the neutral zone. Now Mangiapane, as Carlson will try and work it in. Carlson now towards the net. Dale Carlson, some chances here. A shot knocked away by Hart. Now Roslovic back with it in front for Carlson, as he is taken over by Paul up to Farabee, as Philadelphia gets it out of harm's way. Now the Flyers into the offensive zone. Working there along the boards, as we do end up with it. Provorov, as he and Andrew Peak have been a very good defensive pairing there on the second line for us. As Peak up for Mangiapane. Mangiapane with it, as he'll dump it in. Landeskog giving chase there, working against Dermott. As a quick pass in front there for Nick Paul. Paul now out of the zone into the offensive zoner. Tried to get that for Kulik, who had that shorthanded goal earlier. Now Landeskog barging in. A shot against Carter Hart, and that's going to be saved, although kicked out into the corner now. In front for Kopp, and he can't get a clean shot off there. As now Sundqvist with it. Oscar Sundqvist will just dump that in for Philly. Picked up by Provorov behind the net. Ivan Provorov feeds that up for Brock Besser. And now back up for Kopp. Poked away, and now picked up by Konttinen to Jared McCann. McCann working there against Provorov. Now in front for Grans. A shot blocked by Provorov. In front for Konttinen. He finds the back of the net. 3 goals here for the Philadelphia Flyers in this second period as they now have the lead. And just some sloppy play defensively for our Whalers. The 17th goal already for Konttinen as he's trying to eclipse 40 again. Provorov had that block, but it kind of was not in our favor there as it then found the stick of Konttinen. I think is that his second goal, it's saying. I don't know if he had the first one. I know it was Kulik. Oh no, it was Konechny on that first goal, so I think it's his second point of the game, as he did have the feed on that first one to Travis Konechny. So the Philadelphia Flyers now lead 3-2. It was a fun first period, not so much fun in this second period. It's another chance for Konechny in front before being taken over by Denisenko, given to Kopp. And now Kopp into the zone for Hartford, into the corner now, in front for Besser. Besser with it now back to the point for Spencer, for Chaika, in front for Besser. A good forehand chance off a good feed, saved by Carter Hart. And now turnover there, Hanifin will give it to Konttinen. As Jyrki Konttinen will feed that in, but a good hit there by Spence. Besser now up for Denis Gurianov. Over for Jordan Spence, trying to work it in. And now Konechny with it. As Grans now will feed that up the boards for Couturier. Couturier has some space now towards the net, a shot, and Askarov able to steal that one off. Now 5 minutes remaining in this heavily lopsided second period. Sillinger does win that back now for Montour, although Couturier good on the forecheck, does win possession, backhand chance, as that's knocked away by Askarov. Good generation there from Couturier, as now Montour into the zone off a long pass. Montour tried the centering pass, does get it back though. As that's picked up by Tom Wilson, back to the point for Sami Mäki, over for Montour. Montour's shot, and Cole Sillinger on the rebound could not put that one home. Hartford still with it though. Tom Wilson in the slot, a shot, and that was deflected out of harm's way, I believe. Now into the corner, Hanifin gets that for Couturier. As now Jacob Vrana with it. Vrana into the zone for the Flyers. Tried the centering pass, picked up by Couturier. Couturier working against Mäki. A weak forehand chance there, but Mäki has to play a little bit better there, more assertive. And now Scheifele here against Morgan Frost from the right of Askarov. Frost back to the point for Gwinnett. Off the faceoff when Gwinnett blocked in front by Mäki. Now over for Zadina. Zadina leading the rush into the zone. As he does have a chance now back for Mark Scheifele. A chance. Pad saved by Carter Hart. Now Montour to Scheifele. Back to the point for Montour. As nothing doing there. Turns it over for Frost. Now Mantha. Mantha now into the zone. Will get some space. Now Farabee, a shot from the slot saved by Askarov. Now just 80 seconds left in this second period. Scheifele wins that one. Provorov now for Peak. As he feeds that up for Philip Zadina. Zadina working past Sandheimer, trying to. As now Carter Hart will just take that one and freeze. 43 seconds now. Razovic now out there with Landeskog and Mangiapane. As we do get the late win here. Some time to work with, although Mangiapane hit off the puck as that clears all the way down the other end of the ice. Maybe time for one more rush though. As Provorov now for Mangiapane. Final 10 seconds here in the second period. Jack Razovic now. Razovic spins away. Starting pass here for Provorov to Landeskog. Gets a weak one off. Pad saved by Hart. As that takes us into the third period. So it was 2-0 after one. And now Philadelphia quickly rewrites that 3-2. Especially that shorthanded goal by Kulik. As Travis Konechny and Jyrki Konttinen also found the back of the net. Hartford out shooting Philadelphia 20-16. But losing on the scoreboard. Now Scheifele and McCann back out there to start this one. And Scheifele another face-off win. I feel like he's been pretty strong in this game. Now Zadina off a feed from Montour, sending a pass for Scheifele as that's turned over. As Hanifin will give for Konechny. Konechny now across the logo into the zone. Travis Konechny, their first goal scorer for Philadelphia, tried the centering pass. Long reach of Mäki knocks that away. As Montour gets it going the other way for Scheifele. Mark Scheifele working towards the net. Loose puck. As he does regain possession. In front for Carlson, and he couldn't get a shot. Good stick defense there by Jared McCann. And now Konechny for Konttinen for Grans towards the net. Grans for Konttinen, he scores! His second of the day. And off a good feed, a good rush there by the Flyers. And again, like we saw in the second period, an early period goal gets them on the board as they double their lead. And they now have 4 unanswered. You see Grans there, the defenseman, leading the rush. And Konttinen right there with him. as he's the beneficiary. Now his second goal of the game for the young 20-year-old phenom we've been talking about. And not that we're upset having Sami Mäki, but you just think if we won the draft lottery the next year, how much better we would have been with Jyrki Konttinen instead of Sami Mäki. Although Mäki definitely one of the best defensive presences on the blue line, as he has been asserting himself there. You just saw previously as we're talking about him. And now he does have the puck here. Sami Mäki turns it over there to Konttinen. Those two #1 picks we've been talking about, as Mark Scheifele pestering him there on the forecheck, able to get over for a man. Now Grans loses possession in the neutral zone, as Montour now with it. He will feed up for Landeskog. Gabriel Landeskog in front for Rozovic, trying to get #2, as that's denied by Hart. Now Mangiapane for Landeskog. Back to the point for Montour. Mangiapane now a rip, and again Carter Hart coming up very big after that weak first period where it was a little shaky for him. He has stopped everything since. Now 15:49 remaining in regulation. Morgan Frost against Rozovic. Advantage Frost that time. Sanheim now for Gwinnett. Now for Mantha. Mantha into the zone. Working there against Provorov. Almost gets a shot off as it's taken over now by Provorov. Peak also on the defense there as he now has it. Now up for Landeskog. Now a good feed there for Mangiapane into the zone. Mangiapane now over for Rozovic for Landeskog. And it just barely able to get his blocker on that was Carter Hart. Landeskog now feeds it back for Provorov. Back for Landeskog for Mangiapane. Now to the point for Provorov. Peak a shot deflected in front by Landeskog, I believe that was, or Rozovic, as Carter Hart, great adjustment. And now back into the zone after it was cleared out. Mangiapane gives chase as Sanheim peels away. And now up the ice the other way. Sanheim, good feed there for Frost. Frost towards the net. Over for Brink. A good save there by Askarov. Almost a rebound, but too far out of the reach. And now Hartford on the counter rush. Andrew Kopp with some steam. Turns it over there to Vrana as he gives to Bobby Brink. Bobby Brink turns it over there on the long pass for Couturier, as that's Provorov now. Provorov turns it over there to Couturier, former teammate, as he does get it back. And now Besser. Besser trying to get something going here. Kopp tried another extra pass there. He had a good chance, it seemed, as he does have it again. A shot saved by Hart. Kopp still out there working against Couturier. Back for Chaika. Only one goal on the season for Daniil Chaika, as that's picked up by Denisenko. Back to the point. Chaika over for Spence. Now Besser, a slot chance, and that's gloved by Hart. There's not much you can do when you run into a hot goaltender. And now Scheifele wins that back for Spence, as Chaika couldn't keep the handle, as we have to reset. That goes out of the zone. Our third defensive pairing of Chaika and Jordan Spence, very inexperienced, and that has showed, as we might try to make a trade in the coming episodes to solidify our back end of the blue line. As now Nick Paul with it, more than halfway through this third period, as we got to get something going here quick. Cleared into the zone, picked up by Jordan Spence. Spence will feed over for Leo Carlson, and he turns that over to Harris. Harris will give that over to Noah Cates, maybe that is. I haven't seen him at all. As now loose puck up the boards, picked up by Jordan Spence. Gives that back over for Chaika, as Chaika will take that in. Resets now for Zadina in front. Pad save by Carter Hart. Tough angle for Zadina there on the forehand. And now Sunkvist for the Flyers. Some space in front for Kulik off the post. And that went behind Yaroslav Askarov and bounces into the net. Now 5 unanswered here for the Flyers. And Yuri Kulik, his second of the game. So he and Konttinen, the JK abbreviations here, initials, both on hat-trick watch. And the Flyers have taken this one over. And as I said earlier, Carter Hart tied second in the NHL with Spencer Knight in wins, set for number 18, unless he surrenders 3 goals here in the final 7:26. As this was a very nice, fun game early on, but has quickly been turned on its head as the Flyers have taken over here on Christmas Eve. Now Mäki back along the boards, and that will be a turnover now. Travis Konechny trying to get his second breakaway the other way. Travis Konechny, good move there, but Askarov a good save as McCann there off the one-timer. That one wide. My goodness, Konttinen there in front, trying to get that third goal. That hat-trick as Konechny a chance. That one goes wider. I think deflects off the glove, and now Hartford might have a chance, although right out of the reach of Gurionov, as he does pick it up behind the Philadelphia net, now in front for Montour. Montour back for Mäki. And now for Tom Wilson, as he can't really get something going. Now Kopp, a shot saved by Hart. And now here's Gurionov behind the net again. Tried one in front, picked off by McCann. And now Guryanov, good relentlessness there to get it, as Mäki now over for Tom Wilson. Wilson now for Montour, trying to get one last goal here to get some dignity back. Mäki in the slot turns it over, and Tom Wilson still with it. Hartford, some good persistence on this rush as Mäki has slap shot. I think that was saved by Carter Hart, if not deflected in front. And now Konechny leads the charge the other way, poked away by Mäki. Loose puck picked up by a Hartford Whaler as Kopp now with it. Kopp leading there for Hartford towards the net as he's poked away by Grans. Grans has been elevated to the top defensive pairing for Philadelphia, working with Noah Hannafin, as now Farabee in the zone. Going to be hit off the puck, does get it out though into the corner, picked up by Peak. As now Provorov over for Besser as we hit the 2-minute mark in this third period. Denisenko now leading the charge. Loose puck picked up by Farabee. No one home on that Denisenko pass, I think it was. As now Mangiapane tried to pick it up back the other way towards the Hartford net. As Askarov just covers that one up. Defensive zone draw here for Hartford. 1:13 left in the game. Rozovic does win that for Mangiapane, now for Provorov. Ivan Provorov now over for Rozovic. A good rush here developing for Hartford. Rozovic does get hit off the puck by Sandheim. Still with it though. Back to the point for Landeskog. In the slot for Peak now for Mangiapane. Good puck movement there, but another good save by Carter Hart. Now Rozovic on the draw here against Frost as Frost wins another one. He's been pretty good in the faceoff circle today. Mantha now into the zone for the Flyers. Mantha towards the net and a shot saved by Askarov. Another chance for Mantha as he doesn't get a good one. Provorov overtakes that for Landeskog now as he'll feed that into the zone. Giving chase there against Sandheim as Sandheim gets that. Now loose puck for Brink. Landeskog still battling here on the forecheck as eventually Sandheim will get that for Frost out of the zone. Poked away there by Peak in the neutral zone, picked up by Brink though. As Bobby Brink towards the net, a shot, save Askarov. And now just 15 seconds remain. Mark Scheifele now against Couturier. As Vrana back for Sandheim, maybe one last shot here for Philly. And that will not fall though as we do take it over now. Counter rush the other way to get one more on the board. As again we do turn it over there in the slot. As Jacob Vrana just going to bleed these final seconds down as the Flyers come here on the road and they rewrite a 2-0 deficit by scoring 5 straight goals between the second and third period. Not what we saw coming after such a strong start, but it's not always how you start, it's about how you finish. And the Flyers finished here tremendously, and now with that we lead them by only 1 point in the Metro Division as every single point matters in this closely contested division, as we will sim ahead a few more games here in this episode and see if we can keep our heads above water and stay in a playoff spot as we work towards the midway point of this Year 5 season. 5-2 here from Hartford. And now to close this episode, we'll actually just simulate these last 2 games. We have a back-to-back here, first one being against Boston here at home, as they've really fallen over the course of this franchise, currently towards the bottom of the Atlantic Division. So hopefully we can get back into the win column as we're on the road in our next game against the defending Stanley Cup champion Anaheim Ducks. So here against Boston, we'll see how it goes. After the first period, we are up 2-0. Jack Rozovic has just been so good over the past few weeks. And then Mark Scheifele added one about 7 minutes later. And still 2-0 after the second period, so we'll simulate the third. And we do hang on for the win as Charlie McAvoy got Boston on the board there on the power play towards the end of the game with just 3:11 remaining. But Philip Zadina nets the empty netter to give Hartford the win back into the win column as the first star is Mark Scheifele with 2 points. And Yaroslav Askarov, a very good rebound performance as he stopped 27 out of 28. So we are going to put Daniil Tarasov in net for this second game of a back-to-back here as we take on the defending Stanley Cup champions, as they did take down the Buffalo Sabres last year, the Sabres' first time reaching the Stanley Cup since 1999. And now here against Anaheim on the road, let's make it back-to-back wins to end this episode, as we are up 1-0 after 1. Mark Scheifele beats Rodrigue there, and then after 2, it's tied 1-1 as Anthony Beauvillier beats Daniil Tarasov. As we will just live sim this third period, and Mark Scheifele back on the board as he puts Hartford back on top 2-1, as we did kill off the power play as well, but Terry there scores to even it up. A dynamic goal scorer there for the Ducks as we're now more than halfway through this third period of play. Anaheim outshooting us 28-19 to this point, now into the final 5 minutes as we get the late goal there by Leo Carlson. Of course, a Duck here in present day, but a Whaler in this franchise, and Landeskog there with 10 seconds there. Gets the empty netter. So we're going to go 2-1 in this episode. Usually I would sim more games, but we're going to have a full game next episode against the Montreal Canadiens, as they now have Gavin McKenna at this stage of the franchise. Mark Scheifele, again, a multi-point performance with 3 points, 4 hits. Zadina, 3 assists there as the second star. And Daniil Tarasov continues to be a phenomenal backup goaltender for us, as he was the third star in that game as we take down last year's Stanley Cup champions. But this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Our Whalers are now second in the Metro Division after putting together back-to-back wins following that tough loss against the Philadelphia Flyers. We now stand at 23-12-1 as we continue to climb our way up this tough Metro Division. Mark Scheifele, our leader in points, and we are 2-0 against the Islanders this season. They added Quinn Hughes in the offseason, but there's still 10 points on us in the Metro Division, as they've just been phenomenal. Maybe the top team in all of the NHL, as the Blue Jackets follow us, followed by the Rangers and Hurricanes. So the Flyers and Devils currently out of a playoff spot despite decent records, and then the Penguins and Capitals really slipping. So it's really just a 7-team race out of the Metro, as we usually have 5 playoff teams, as it's been the case over this franchise so far. So as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. It's been real, and be well, and I'll see you next time.